get the sense. Okay. And again, if there's anybody that would like to challenge us on this, we can go live on it right now. And we can bring the precepts out. You don't have to preach in the comment section. Anybody want to do a live right now? Okay. For those that are taking notes, and whether you agree or disagree, but you want to take notes to go back and study for yourself, that's fine. We're not here to convince anyone. Genesis chapter 10, we're going to see if Esau was given the whole earth, or if the fatness of the whole earth. Okay. Genesis chapter 10, we're going to go down to verse 21 to 24, again expounding on the children of Shem. It says, unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth, the elder. Even to him were children born. The children of Shem, Elam and Asher and Arphaxad and Lud and Aram. And the children of Aram, Uz and Hul and Gether and Mash. Okay, can everybody hear me okay? Brother Barker says I'm buffering.
You sound good. You sound good.
Okay. Verse 24 says, and Arphaxad begot Salah, and Salah begot Eber. So these are the generations of the Hebrews. When we go to Genesis chapter 11, we're going to read verses 10. It says, descendants of Shem. It says, these are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begot Arphaxad 2 years after the flood. Now we're going to jump down to verse 26. Keep in mind, all the nations are already divided before Abram is born. Verse 26 says, and Terah lived 70 years and begot Abram, Nahor, and Haran. So this is showing us the generations of the Hebrews. Everybody good with that? One for yes, two for no. We're going to discuss if Esau was given the entire earth as the fatness. Okay, I see a one. Okay, good. The next verse after you go to those verses is you want to go to Genesis chapter 12. We're going to read 5 through 7. Genesis chapter 12, verse 5. It says, and Abram took Sarai, his wife, and Lot, his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran. And they went forth to go into the land of Canaan. And into the land of Canaan they came. Abram and Sarai. Remember that. Verse 26, verse 6. And Abram passed through the land unto the place of Shechem, unto the plain of Moriah. And the Canaanite was then in the land. Okay. Verse 7. And the Lord appeared unto Abram and said, who is speaking to Abram right here? Put it in the chat. Who is speaking to Abram right here? And the Lord appeared unto Abram and said. So we see that the Most High is about to speak to Abram. Yeah. Okay. Unto thy seed, listen to this. Unto thy seed will I give this land. What land is he referring to? What land is the Most High says, unto thy seed I will give this land? You got to know this, people, because you're going to have people just like they're coming in my comments saying Canaan. Exactly. Canaan. So when we read verse 5, it says he took Sarah, his wife, and they went into the land of Canaan, right? When we get to verse 7, it says, and the Lord appeared unto Abram and said, unto thy seed will I give this land, and there builded he an altar unto the Lord who appeared unto him. So the Most High said he's going to give this land to who? Abram and his seed, right? 1 for yes, 2 for no. And what does unto his seed mean? What does unto his seed mean? Okay. I'm taking my time because I want y'all to write this down. So, you can, it's all self-explanatory. His children. Right. So we understand that this land is going to be given to Abraham or Abram and his children, his seed. We're going to go to Genesis chapter 15 and verse 18. Genesis chapter 15 and verse 18.
Salaki, brother.
Yes, sir.
No, we just left that Genesis chapter 12 verse 5 to 7, and we showed that the Canaan was already in the land. The Canaanites were already in the land. So that's a nation that's already been developed.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, Abraham left from the Ur of the Chaldeans, which is the land of Nimrod, which is also called Babylon. So those lands are also already developed. So those people are growing still as we're going through this walk with you right now.
Remember,
all right, go ahead.
Khan, thank you, Ak. Remember all those hundreds of years before Abram was being even born? Isaac, Esau, and Jacob aren't even born yet. All these other nations are building and thriving and developing. Esau and Jacob, Isaac, they're not even born yet. Right? They're the last two nations. Right? Okay. So now we're at Genesis chapter 15. We're going to read verse 18. It says, in the same day, the Lord made a covenant with Abram, Salakia, saying, unto thy seed I given this land from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. It goes on to list other nations, the Kenizzites, and the Cadmonites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites. It lists all these nations, and his name is still Abram. Isaac, Jacob, and Esau are not even born yet, right? It specifically says in the same day, the Lord made a covenant with Abram. Remember what our foundational scriptures was in the book of Psalms 89. This is why we have these foundational scriptures. Psalms 89 and 34. My covenant will I not break, nor alter the thing that is gone out of my lips. So we're showing you what the Most High said to Abram before his name was even changed to Abraham. I'm going to reiterate this one more time. In the same day, the Lord made a covenant. So he's not going to break his covenant with Abram, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land, unto thy seed, meaning thy offspring, thy children. Jacob and Esau, Isaac are not even born yet, right? Right? So we're showing a specific area. It says, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. Hold on one second, Slakia. Pull something up on my screen here. On the screen, you'll see a map. Zoom in. It says from the river, from Egypt to the great river Euphrates. Does everybody see this? Okay. I'm gonna pull it back up. Hold on one second. Okay. It says let me zoom back out. 15:18. It says, in the same day, the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land. What land is he talking about? The land of Canaan. This is Genesis chapter 15 and verse 18. Can everybody see that on the screen? Genesis 15 and 18. So he gave him a specific landmass. It says, unto thy seed have I given this land, right? We pull that information up on the map and we can see the land from Egypt to the Euphrates. I'm sorry if it's a little blurry, but this is just for educational purposes. All you got to do is go and do your own
Stay right
research.
there. Stay right there.
You can do your own research to pull up this information yourself. This is what Abram was given, and it said, the Most High says, I will give it unto thy and thy seed. Right? Does everybody understand so far? So far, the scriptures are explaining perfectly. I haven't have to deviate or anything other than to show you something on the map. Okay. If you're writing this down, I guarantee you it'll explain itself. All right? Because we don't add or take away from the word of the Most High. All right. Everybody good with the map? We can move on. So just to expound. Okay, I see a few ones. That means we're good. So let me zoom back out. Go back over this verse one more time. Genesis 15:18. We can see that a covenant was made, an agreement with Abram. So this was given unto Abraham's seed. All the lands listed between those rivers, from the river of Egypt to the river Euphrates. We showed it on the map. And the Most High made a covenant with Abram to give these lands to his seed. And in the very middle of that map is Saudi Arabia. All right. We ready to go to the next verse? Salakia, hold on. 1 second. Okay. Guess somebody put in a request by accident. Are we ready for the next verse? Was that self-explanatory so far? Because we're about to expound on Esau, the fatness of the earth. Does everybody understand as we move on? One for yes, two for no. Okay. The next verse we're going to go to is going to be in Genesis chapter 17. 17 and 1. Right? It says, and when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty Yahweh. Walk before me and be thou perfect. Verse 4. As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Verse 8. And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God. He's going to give what land to the Abram and to his seed after thee? What land is he giving to Abram and his seed after thee? Type it in the comments. Canaan. Canaan. Hey, you just left from off the live. Don't jump up on the panel, jump back in the comments and say I was off. The scriptures aren't off. The scriptures are the scriptures off? This is what happens, family. You can't just say someone is, if you disagree, that's fine. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. If you're saying we are wrong, then come up and show us. Are the script? Everybody see these scriptures are saying what it's saying. Let's continue. It says the land of Canaan, all the land of Canaan for everlasting possession, and I will be their God. Right? The only people that are afraid of the truth are those that believe a lie. All we're doing is showing you what that verse means about Esau having the fatness of the earth. Okay. Verse 9 says, and the Most High said unto Abraham, thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore thou and thy seed after thee in their generations. So it says, all the land of Canaan to thee and thy seed after thee. The next verse you want to write down is verse 21. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him and will make him fruitful and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. Verse 21. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. In this verse, we see, so Ishmael was made a great nation, but the Most High's covenant is with who? The Most High's covenant will be with Isaac. Okay. When the same was given his portion, it was a part of the lands given to Abraham. Okay. Everybody good? Does this make sense? It's okay, Isha. You're gonna have, if it wasn't being truth told, you wouldn't have no resistance. Okay. The next verse we're gonna go to.
She said the seas did not move either.
Yeah.
All praises, all praises.
Yeah, the seas don't change, right? I tell you, boy, ain't nobody mad but the devil. But again, this is to edify our people. This is just giving you some things to consider. Whether you believe it or not, just consider it. Look into it. And then if we're incorrect, then you should be able to say, well, you know, I see where you said this here. And then we should be able to reason, right? But let's operate in decency and in order here. Okay. So we're just reading scripture and we're given the sense. In Genesis chapter 25, we're going to go to verse 5 and 6. Genesis chapter 25, verse 5 and 6. But for it not to be true, they show it stand and listen to the rest of it. All praises to the Most High.
You have to listen to the whole
Hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Ecclesiastes.
There you go. You can't just jump in like that. That's correct. 110%.
The next thing you want to write down is Genesis chapter 25, 5 and 6. It says, and Abraham gave all that he had to Isaac. What did Abraham have? It says, and Abraham gave all that he had to Isaac. Question. What did Abraham have?
Okay, could I reframe that question a different way?
Yes,
what
you can.
did Abraham have to give?
Thank you, Ab. What did Abraham possess to give to Isaac? The whole biscuit's not the crumb. Canaan. Right. Remember, he says, I will give thee this land and thy seed after thee. Right. He says, everything, and Abraham gave all that he had unto Isaac. Right. Everybody get that? If he gave everything that he had to Isaac, the question is, we already went over what Abraham had. The Most High said, I will give you all this land from Egypt, right, to the Euphrates River, and to thy seed after thee. Right. Right. Okay. So everything that Abraham had, he gave it to who? Everything that Abraham had, he gave it to who? Don't pay no attention to the people being the distraction, man. I don't understand how people can be disruptive when the word is coming out, Isaac. But is that the only son Abraham had? No, because in verse 6 it says, but unto the sons of the concubines which Abraham had, Abraham gave gifts and sent them away from Isaac, his son, while he yet lived eastward unto the east country. So if Abraham had all those lands that the Most High gave him, that means he sent all of his other sons where? If he gave it all to Isaac, that means he sent all the other sons where? Outside of those lands, correct? He sent them away from Isaac unto the east country. All right. The scriptures aren't going off. Are the scriptures explaining themselves? We're not even showing the map. Our doctrine doesn't come from the map. That's just to give a visual learning. We got the scriptures right on the screen. You're being a distraction. People are really fighting y'all not to get this, man. There are more people watching outside this live. I'm telling you. They're taking those too, probably. Abraham gave everything he had to Isaac and sent all of his other sons outside of what the Most High gave him. He says, but unto your seed, which shall be born next year, that's who I'm gonna make a covenant with. I'm gonna bless Ishmael, but my covenant is not going to be with him. And Abram gave all that he had to Isaac, but to the other sons of the concubines, which Abraham had, he gave gifts. All right, here y'all go. You got a PlayStation, you got an Xbox, and y'all kick rocks. Y'all get away from Isaac. This is all his land. Right? These verses explain themselves, family. So Abraham gave all he had to Isaac, and all that he had was what the Most High gave him. Now I'm going to ask you a question. Did the Most High give Abraham the whole earth? How can he give Abraham the whole earth when all the earth is already inhabited by other nations? And the people of Canaan that's living in Canaan, the Hamites that are living in Canaan, that wasn't their inheritance. They took that. They were there illegally, though. That's another discussion. But the question is, it says Abraham gave all that he had to Isaac. Did Abraham have the whole earth? No. So what we're going to see is Isaac is going to have 2 children. Is it making sense? How can he give something that he doesn't possess? All praises. So Abraham gave all that he had to Isaac. The rest he gave gifts and said, he sent them away outside of the country. Next verse we're going to go to Genesis 17. Genesis chapter 17. We read this verse. We're going to read it again and expound on a few more verses. We're going to start at verse 9. Genesis chapter 17 and verse 9. It says, and the Most High said unto Abraham, thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore thou and thy seed after thee in their generations. Verse 10 tells us, and this is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised. So everyone coming out of Abraham should keep the covenant. If you want the land, you must keep the covenant, you and your seed after you. Okay. Verse 11. And ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you. One thing I wanted to just deviate from for a while, just for a second, is to show you all these people talking about this come one, come all salvation is for all people, and they're equating blessings and salvation. We clearly see that when the Most High establishes a covenant, he deals with that people, sends everybody else away. Let me repeat that. When the Most High deals with his covenant people, he places them in a land or separate, and he sends everybody else away. Yeah, y'all get some gifts. Y'all get some crumbs. Get away from here. Here's your PlayStation. Abraham gave all that he had to Isaac, even though he had sons by his concubines. They got consolation prizes, some ribbons of participation, and then they were sent away from Isaac. And what is that symbolic of? Since everybody wants to be a son of Abraham all of a sudden, right? I don't want to get off track. Just wanted to point that out. Right? Does everybody see that? He sent them where? Over there. From scratch. To the back of the bus. The sons of the concubines. All right? But the rest he gave gifts, sent them away. My question is, how do you think the other sons felt about this? Huh? When they saw that Isaac got everything and they were just giving gifts, how do you think they felt? Were they happy about it? Bitter? Okay. Yeah, they was upset, right? That's why we read about this in the book of Psalms, 83. Psalms 83. I'm going to read 1 through 8. It says, keep not thou silence, O God, most high power, Salakia. Hold not thy peace and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. And they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. It goes on to list the confederacy. Tabernacles of Edom, the ringleader, Edomites, and the Ishmaelites, and Moab. Esau mad because he said that he got tricked out of his blessing. He upset. Ishmael mad. He was the firstborn, and he got a ribbon, a certificate of participation. He mad. Moab, they can't come into the congregation for the 10th generation, 3rd and 4th generation. You know, they upset. And the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon, they can't come into the congregation. All these people mad at the children of Israel. And Amalek, the Amalekites, perpetual hatred towards the Israelites. The Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assur also is joined with them, and they have hope in the children of Lot. Selah. All these people mad at Isaac. So all these people are Shemites and Hamites. None of them are Japheth's lineage. Right? None of these people that are confederate against the children of Israel that are mentioned in Psalms 83 are from the lineage of Japheth. All these are Hamites, Shemites. Are we good? So they're upset. They started a confederacy. Man, you know, Isaac over there, he got all the land. All the land. Yeah, man. Pop's tripping. What did he give you? Man, I got a PlayStation 5. What you get?
Salaki.
I got an Xbox,
Is
but I'm on that Warzone, dog. They upset, yo. Go ahead.
Salaki. That reminds me of Joseph and his brothers
Exactly.
with that colored robe that he had on. They were upset.
Of course.
Don't get me wrong, you will be upset when one brother is favored than the other. You will be upset. That's what's happening here. But their being upset is to the intent to cause harm. And I'll leave it at that. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
the
brother.
Most High said, the older shall serve the younger. The Most High established that before they was born. Children not yet being born, nor good nor evil. But he already elected who he was going to choose. All right. Are we ready to move on? Is this making sense? It's self-explanatory. People saying we using fake map. The water don't change. The scriptures don't change. It's just a visual. Bro. And please write these down. The devil
Please
is
continue using continue using that reference. The water don't change. I love
water
that.
don't change.
The water don't change.
They don't want y'all to be able to explain this, family. And I'm just like, we should be reasoning and sharpening one another. Let it make sense to the people it makes sense to. Let's continue, family. So we see here that these brothers mad. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 27. So we done verified the table of nations. Everybody already established way before Abraham was born, way before Isaac was born, way before Jacob and Esau. They weren't even born yet. People out here living their best life in their own lands. Right? So much so, the Most High told Abram to leave his family, get away from him, to a land that I'm going to give to you. You'll see. You know, man of great faith. That tells you right there they were already established. All these other nations serving other gods and so forth. Genesis chapter 27. Let's go to verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. Now, Abraham gave Isaac all that he had, correct? 1 for yes, 2 for no. I did not get the connection with Psalms 83, 1 through 8. Psalms 83, 1 through 8. Let me go back. Abraham was given a certain landmass. Abraham gave all that he had to Isaac. All that land that was given to him from the Most High, he gave it to Isaac. The other sons that Abraham had with the concubines outside of Isaac, he had with Sarah, he gave them gifts and sent them away from Isaac, eastward. Everything that Abraham had was the land of Canaan, all the lands from the river, from Egypt to the river Euphrates. He gave all he had to Isaac. Okay. The other nations in Psalms 83 are upset. Esau is upset. Why? Because he's saying that, man, Jacob came back while I was out hunting and tricked me out of my birthright. He didn't trick him. Esau sold his birthright. And that's one thing you got to be careful. Remember Hebrews chapter 11. Because people teach that Jacob lied and tricked him out of his birthright. I think it's 16. Is it 12? Is Hebrew? Somebody help me out here. I always get this one mixed up. Wait a minute, is it 16? Where it talks about Esau selling his birthright. Or is it 12? Is it 12, 16? Yeah, 12, 16. There it is. It says, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. He didn't trick him. Esau sold it for food. Con. All right. Everybody good? We good? Genesis chapter 27, verse 29. I'm sorry, 25. That's where we're about to go to. Everybody good with Psalms 83? Right.
It's good.
Esau sold his birthright for that red pottage. Okay. All praises. So the next verse we're going to go to is Genesis chapter 27. We're going to start at verse 25. It says, and he said, bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat. And he bought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, see, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field which the Lord has blessed. Verse 28. Therefore the Most High give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Verse 29. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. It says here clearly, and let your mother's sons bow down to you. Now this is Jacob. So Jacob was set over his brethren because Esau sold his birthright. So he received the fatness of the earth. And many people, they don't explain this with precepts, and they'll say this is talking about the whole earth. Isaac wasn't given the whole earth. Isaac was given the land of Canaan, those lands between the river Euphrates and Egypt. That's the fatness. Them people that are in the Middle East, how many people are old enough to remember that song that was like, we getting Arab money, and they just got money like they burning $100. It's nothing to them over there. They got gold bars. They get paid in rubies, every 2 weeks. They got princes and kings over there driving Bugattis and abandon them in the desert like it's nothing, like the car is made out of gold. It's a different kind of rich over there. Oil, right? Everything, man. People say this fatness of the earth is talking about the whole earth, and they build a doctrine around it. Abraham didn't have the whole earth. Abraham gave all he had to Isaac. Isaac gave all he had to Esau and Jacob. What did Isaac have? Everything that Abraham gave him. Did Isaac have the whole earth? If somebody found, all right, they give you examples of this like in movies. When they were talking about that movie Black Panther and Wakanda, it was shielded and uncolonized because they had so many vast resources, right? that would be considered the fatness of the whole earth. They had technologies, they had resources that none of the earth they didn't have. I'm trying to give you an understanding here. If
It
some
didn't
if,
have an
if
abundance. Didn't have an
they
abundance
had
as
an
they did.
abundance of, bruh, they had technology, they had resources, they had everything was just pure and natural. They had those, that's the fatness of the earth. They had those resources. Okay. And if other countries heard about the resources, just like Africa, what do? They go over there and stake claims in those areas. Correct? If someone came across black or blood diamonds or black diamonds or whatever they call them and gold reserves, what you think these countries go, what, wait a minute, what? Y'all found what? Yeah, they're going to go right over there and try to stake their claim to get a portion of it. Right? The gold rush of 49 and people thought there were gold in San Francisco. Everybody went to California, out there in them areas or what have you. This is what this is referring to. It's not talking about the whole earth. This is a misunderstanding where these people are saying this. Does this make sense, family? Isaac received what Abraham gave. The promise was, I will give you these lands and to thy seed after thee. This is why we established this first. You can't just read a verse and be like, okay, and this means everywhere Esau goes, that he gets the best of the places. That's not right. Come on, man. and I'm saying that not out of disrespect, but this is what people have been taught. But this is why we have to do our own due diligence. Everything that Abraham had, he gave to Isaac. Sent the other children away. Isaac, he blessed Jacob, and he blessed Esau with the same blessings except the corn and the wine. Right? One for yes, two for no. All this is self-explanatory. I'm not adding to, not taking away. Are we ready to continue?
Back to what going back to what we just said, what we just stated. Yeah. Isaac had to have something to give Jacob.
His inheritance, right? All the other nations were already established.
You have to remember what he received from his father to give to his children, because the blessing was about Abraham and his seeds. So you have to keep that in connotation when as we go along this road. Abraham got the blessing. Did we show the geographical area and what he got from
we showed the water.
We show the water. Let's keep that there. We show the water.
Euphrates River don't change.
Right. We show the water.
That don't change.
So if we show the water from there, and then we show Isaac is getting blessed from Abraham, and then we saw what Abraham does to the other concubines' children. So you see that Isaac got the blessing, the full blessing that Abraham had. Now he's passing down to Jacob, and see what he gave to Esau, which we haven't come to that yet, but we see what he gave to Esau. So you have to keep that in context, brothers and sisters. If you go out of that, that's when you start losing. That's when you start grabbing at straws and accepting everything. But this is a step-by-step walk for you to understand the true understanding and the persons that we are trying to explain to you guys who Esau is. All right?
We're not trying to convince nobody. If it makes sense to you, all praises. If it don't, all praises. The most I get to understand it. We just trying to reason with our brothers. You know what I'm saying? That's all we trying to do. It's no love lost, whether you agree or not. But if you start getting irate and irritated because we're giving our explanation and our breakdown, how many times have you said Esau was this person and people had to listen to you? Right? I'm sorry. Some message came up on my screen. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we actually were hearing you all the time. I think that was a gift of some sort. I don't know what it was.
I don't know what it was that came up. I was trying to read it, but it was coming
Somebody sent a galaxy.
Fast.
Somebody sent a galaxy.
Okay. Thank you so much for the likes and the shares, family. I hope this is making sense. You know, there's a lot that goes into studying this information. We give all praises to the Most High, to the elders and the elect that have brought this information out. We pray that it is received and that you're understanding it. Just write it down. It explains itself. Okay. Let's continue. We're going to go back to Genesis chapter 27. We're going to go down to 38. Okay. It says, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. Verse 40. And by thy sword thou shalt live, and shalt serve thy brother. By thy sword thou shalt live, and shalt serve thy brother. So Esau's blessing was the fatness of the earth as well. But this earth is not talking about the whole earth in totality, because the whole earth did not belong to Isaac. Remember, when we read in the table of nations, all these other parts of the earth are occupied. Every man after his family, after their language, their tongue, they're already occupied. But out of all of that, this is the best part of the earth. Out of everybody else's land, this is the best part. So he received the fatness of the earth. So because the whole earth did not belong to Isaac, Isaac only received what Abraham gave to him, and that which was given to Abraham by the Most High. The covenant that was established unto Abraham was a specific landmass, and he said it will be given to you and to your seed after you. That's the covenant that was established with Abraham. He did not say that he will be given that and the whole earth. He said, I'm going to give you this specific land from Egypt to the river Euphrates. That's the covenant. The fatness of the earth is this particular landmass territory and all its resources, riches, and so forth. Everyone else he sent away. And by thy sword thou shalt live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So Esau's blessing was the fatness of the earth as well. And again, this earth is not talking about the whole earth in its totality. I just wanted to reiterate that. So the lands that were given to Abraham, and those lands were given to Isaac, and then they were divided among Isaac's children, and he gave a portion to Jacob and a portion to Esau. The fatness of the land was his possession. Esau had his fatness, okay, but it was in that particular land territory. This is not saying that Esau went around conquering other nations and just taking over. That prophecy won't even suit Esau. Right? Verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing. This goes back to Psalms 83 when he made a confederate and he's the head of the confederacy. And Esau hated Jacob. Why? Because of the blessing. He wanted that corn and wine. He wanted the dew of heaven. He wanted his brothers to serve him, but he sold his birthright. So he mad because he tried to play Jacob and got played. He mad. Why is Esau mad? Because of the blessing. Let the scripture explain it to you. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing, wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then I will slay my brother Jacob. Now my question is to you all, after you've heard this, is this blessing saying it's the whole earth? Because whether you agree or not, you still have to prove it with scripture. Right? The fatness of the earth is not talking about the earth in its entirety. So I hope this shed some light on this part about Esau. All praises. Oh wow. I hope this sheds some light on that. Okay. Is it good? Are we good?
But I wanted to come in with you understand so far, and you're walking through. We're not rushing it at all. We're taking our
Oh,
time to do it tonight, brothers and sisters. All praises,
okay.
because
Somebody said
you,
two. That's fine. I mean, the Most High gives the understanding. We just talk. We just, it's not about us anyway. We're just being, we just sharing information. If you can use it, you can use it. If you can't, I appreciate your time. I'm sorry I wasted your time. Okay. So after we read that, what's the next thing people say? People say that what Esau is the Romans and the Greeks. No problem, Prince. We're gonna prove everything. That was just a appetizer. If it makes sense, it makes sense. We understand that this is not something that's gonna come overnight. People gotta understand. People were taught a certain way, and it might make somewhat of sense to you, but you still gotta study it out. I understand. I respect it. All right. Ain't no love lost. Okay. That's one thing about us, man. If you disagree with us, we're not gonna sit here and just yeah. That would make you no different than Esau, breaking the brotherly covenant. What would make you okay? You have a disagreement, so in your heart, you're cursing me and be think out because we're explaining something on our platform that you don't agree with, and then you go on in your heart and break the brotherly covenant. Yet you go on to say I love the Most High, and then you do it live, and in your heart you bashing us because we just explained something that you have a difference of agreement. You're entitled to disagree. You're entitled to that. But if you say that we're wrong, that means you have information to correct us. And you are obligated to share the correction. And we should be able to listen and reason one with another. That's it. Don't lose a brother or sister just because, you have a disagreement. It's not. If it's that serious, then the Most High is still working with you. I'm going to leave it at that. We're trying to just deal with a lot of the things that they say is Esau is this person.
I'll continue, brothers and sisters. You'll find me continuously bringing out this point. Keep in mind, while this is happening with Isaac and Jacob and Esau, the other nations are flourishing. There is no Israel at this present time. The other nations are flourishing in their structure, in the way how they are performing. Egypt is there already. We know we just talked about Canaan, the Canaan land. The Canaanites are already there in the land. Jericho is already there. These other nations are flourishing, and yet still Jacob has not established himself yet, and Esau has not established himself yet. These two nations is young, but the other nations are already wealthy, and they have grown, they have developed. Just keep that in mind.
I appreciate you liking the live. I appreciate it. Let me expound on this a little bit more. And we're going to go to Numbers chapter 20 and verse 14. You can write this down just to expound a little bit more before we move on. Numbers chapter 20 and verse 14. It says, and Moses sent messengers from Kadesh unto the kings of Edom. Thus saith thy brother Israel, thou knowest all the travail that hath befallen us. Okay. Verse 17. Let us pass, I pray thee, through thy country. We will not pass through the fields or through the vineyards, neither will we drink of the water of the wells. We will go by the king's highway. We will not turn to the right hand, nor to the left, until we have passed thy borders. This is what it meant by the fatness of the earth. Esau had fields, wells, vineyards, etc. But this was Esau's portion. Okay. It was a good land, and this was part of his blessings. Let me pull this information up on the screen. Let me see here. I want to pull up. Okay. Here you'll see the travel that the children of Israel were taking to get to their lands. Okay. They wanted to go through the lands of Esau Edom, but the Most High told them not to set foot in it. So they ended up coming down the King's Highway, making their way to the lands that were promised unto them. Okay. All this was given to the children of Israel. Right? And what you read as you go on is that they were trying to do things peacefully. So we're going to read on. I'm going to minimize this here. Read verse 17 again. It says, let us pass, I pray thee, through thy country. We will not pass through the fields, nor through the vineyards, neither will we drink of the water of the wells. We will go by the King's highway. We will not turn to the right hand nor to the left until we have passed thy borders. Okay. So they weren't having it. Edom said, thou shalt not pass by me, lest I come out against thee with the sword. See, so the children of Israel, they're trying to do things peacefully. Now let's see why. Let's go back to Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 2. Deuteronomy chapter 2. And we're going to read verse 1. Let's start at verse 1. It says, then we turned and took our journey into the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea, as the Lord spake unto me, and we compassed about Mount Seir many days. So they're trying to make, man, we right over here by the land. All we got to do is just cut through here and we'll be right there. And the Lord spake unto me, saying, so this is the Most High saying this. Once the Most High gives lands as an inheritance, he doesn't play about it. So Esau has his inheritance. He has his lands. And the children of Israel, they're trying to get to their inheritance and their lands, and they're doing it peacefully. He says, ye have compassed this mountain long enough. Turn ye northward. So the Most High is telling them, listen, you done compassed this land long enough. Who is Mount Seir? Audience. Who is Mount Seir? Anybody can type that in the comment section. Who is Mount Seir? I'm not taking no request right now. Esau, thank you. The Most High spake. This is the Most High speaking. He says, ye have compassed this mountain long enough, turn ye northward. Verse 4, and command thou people, saying, ye are not to pass through the coast of your brethren, the children of Esau. So who is speaking here? The Most High is telling them, like, listen, y'all done been over here by this mountain long enough. He says, and command thou people, saying, ye are to pass through the coast of your brethren, the children of Esau, which dwell in Seir, and they shall be afraid of you. Take good heed unto yourselves, therefore. Meddle not with them, for I will not give you of their land, no, not so much as a foot breadth, because I have given Mount Seir unto Esau for a possession. Who's speaking here? Who's speaking here? The Most High. Did he say he gave Esau the whole earth as a possession? This confirms it right here.
Salaki, brother.
Go ahead, Op.
It confirms it also because remember when we went into Genesis 27, verse 38 and 39, it states he will have the fatness of the earth also,
God.
and the dew of heaven from above. So where is he at this location that you're showing here? Is he on the whole entire earth, or he's isolated in one area that he is given by the Most High? We have to see. You're seeing that there? There's Eden. That's the fatness of earth that he received.
The water don't change.
The water don't change. I'm loving this thing, man. The water do not change. So if he's getting the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and we see in a location where he's residing now, a geographical location where he's residing where he has his own land, whereby he's forfeiting Israel to pass through his land. Where can you show me that he got the whole entire earth when it's declared in, I think it's Genesis 27:29,
Yeah, we're gonna go back
that he shall receive the fatness of the earth?
Yeah, we're gonna
You
go
have
right
to
back
explain that also. You understand what I'm saying? You have to explain that also.
Hey,
So here lies the problem.
somebody gonna get it. If this is making sense to you, just like the live. We don't ask, we don't do this for likes, but we just want to make sure that this is making sense to somebody. Okay. We just want you to be able to take this information and let it explain itself. That's it. If you have access to get these maps, that some people are visual learners, do your due diligence. If you need it, if I have it, if I'm able to send it to you, I do my best. Screenshot it, whatever you got to do, But everything is self-explanatory. Yeah. We're not adding to any of this.
All praises.
All praises.
Somebody gonna get it. Somebody gonna get it.
Somebody got it. And somebody mad they got it. But take this information, family, study it, and just be able to explain it to someone else. That's all we ask. The Most High gonna get the praise, regardless if you.
He doesn't move. The seas doesn't move. All praises.
Exactly. I wish I could send, a shout out to my sister. Thank you. The seas don't change. So let's just recap this again, family. Deuteronomy chapter 2, verse 1 through 5. It says, "Then we turned and took our journey into the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea, as the Lord spake unto me, and we compassed Mount Seir many days." That's Esau, Edom. "And the Lord spake unto me, saying, Ye have compassed this mountain long enough. Turn ye northward, and command thou people, saying, Ye are to pass through the coast of your brethren, the children of Esau, which dwell in Seir, and they shall be afraid of you." No, Esau was conquering everybody. "And they shall be afraid of you." Man, Esau is conquering all the nations. "And they shall be afraid of you. Take ye good heed unto yourselves, therefore. Meddle not with them. For I will not give you of their land. No, not so much as a foot breadth, because I," who is the I here? The Most High, "have given Mount Seir unto Esau for a possession." Good. The Most High says, don't even step foot in their land, because he gave it to Esau for possession. That was Esau's land, not the whole earth, not the whole world. The fatness of the earth, of the lands that the Most High gave to Abraham. So I reiterate that again. This is not talking about the whole earth. Okay. Are we good on this? The seas don't move. That's right. Yeah,
Gone.
but get
Now
the
check
map.
this out. Check this out.
All praises.
She said the ancient and the modern map today and the sea did not move. Okay, they're saying.
All right. All praises. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 27. And we're going to just read 38 through 40 just to recap because we want to explain something else. Genesis chapter, because trust me, people going to be going live on a lot of this topic that we bringing out. Some brothers are appreciative. Some brothers, unfortunately, are upset. You know, they calling us everything but the son of the Most High. Still love you, you know. We just have a different understanding. So you're not upset with me, you upset with the Most High. So we still love you, you know. No love lost on our end. Genesis chapter 27, verse 38. It says this. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau, let me just, there we go. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Verse 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. Verse 40. And by thy sword shall thou live, and shall serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Now, when people see this word right here, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have dominion, is this talking about dominion over the whole earth? No, Mount Seir is not modern day Russia. Mount Seir is in Arabia. Okay. Okay. This is not talking about dominion over the whole earth. For those who are informed and for those who may not know, when Solomon sinned, the children of Israel were split into two nations. Israel, David had went in and slaughtered a lot of the Edomites for 6 months. Joab and David, they slaughtered all the males. Now, the people teaching you that Esau went and dominated everywhere he went. Now, that's not in line with scripture. He said Esau was getting his butt kicked everywhere he went. That's not in line with scripture. So they were able to get away from under the rulership of the Israelites, but they went back into captivity. They broke the yoke after Solomon sinned, and this is what they're talking about. And then when it says, and shall come to pass when they shall have dominion, this is not talking about dominion like Adam had. They're saying that this is dominion like Adam had. You go to I use the Strong's Concordance. So when you go to the Strong's Concordance, this should be H7300.
Strong's H7300. Rude.
Rude by. Okay. So when we look at this, yeah, Esau is the lowest of the low. It says to wander restlessly, roam, to be restless, to show restlessness. Okay? This is not saying that Esau would have the dominion over the whole earth. Like this right here, this is 87300, and thou shalt have dominion. This is not the same thing. Let's check it. Just fact check. Genesis 1:26. Genesis chapter 1 and verse 26. And it says, and the Most High said, let us make man in our image. Can everybody see the screen? Okay? Yes, no, maybe.
They can.
All right. It says, let us make man in our own image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. when we look up the dominion in this verse here, it is not H7300. It's H7287.
Strong's H7287. Radah. Radah.
This dominion means to rule, to have dominion, dominate, tread down, to have dominion, rule, subjugate, to cause down, to dominate, to scrap out, tread down, subjugate, specifically crumble off, to come to, make to, have dominion, prevail against, reign, bear, make to rule, rule over, take. Esau didn't have this type of dominion. Okay? And we must understand these words are in Hebrew. And we must understand what they mean in the Hebrew, not in English. So respectfully, you understand that there are going to be some brothers that may disagree. That's fine. I mean, there may be some brothers that this may be some new information to them. Some sisters, this may be some new information to them. They're going to go back and, we're going to enjoy the Shabbat. Get some messages. Hey, bro, thank you for that. I got some questions for you. Let's chop it up. I want to share some things with you, get your thoughts on it. We can edify one another together. Hey, man, it sounds great. Let's do it. And you're going to have them brothers. It's like, man, bump you, man. I'm going to kick you out with the rest of the concubine children. You be thinking your whole congregation, man, kick rocks. Love you, bro. Ain't no love lost. We just have a disagreement. I'm sorry it didn't make sense to you. Maybe you can, when cooler heads prevail, maybe we can revisit this at another time. Maybe we can find out where the disconnect is. There ain't no love lost, fam. We still, we still cool, right? No. All right. I'm gonna shake that dust off me, man. The Harlem Shake. Let that peace return unto me. So we clearly see that this dominion is not the same dominion. And this is not talking about Esau ruling the entirety of the earth. Now, we can go and expound on some more. If there's someone that feels differently than what we've brought out so far, you can come up and challenge us on it, or if you want to share some understanding that you may have, you can come up and we can have a discussion. Okay, if not, we'll continue. If it's making sense to you, can I see some ones? A few likes in the comments. I thank you for liking the live. All praises to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? I'm just thankful that it's making sense to somebody. Again, everything is pretty self-explanatory. All right. Now let's deal with something else. What else is it that they be saying? For those people that subscribe, and this is a source that lines up with scripture. Some people subscribe to it. Some people don't. Respectfully, I get it. No problem. There's a book called From Babylon to Timbuktu. And if you subscribe to that book, you can type 1. If you don't, type 2. Okay, I'll try to show it on the screen here. For those that are not familiar, this book here, From Babylon to Timbuktu. Okay.
I think all Israelites who in the street probably have this book. Some people,
I don't want to assume.
New ones.
Yeah, I don't want to assume. I don't want to make that assumption. But if you have this book, Rudolph R. Windsor is a historian. A lot of people that I know use this book. He has degrees in studying ancient, artifacts, ancient history, dealing with the children of Israel. He went to the University, a Temple. Let me just read it. Dr. Rudolph Windsor was born in Long Branch, New Jersey, after living in a number of Jersey communities. His family settled in Philadelphia, where he attended community college studying psychology and political science. He continued his educational pursuits at Gross College, majoring in Hebrew/Aramaic studies, Temple University, where he majored in Middle Eastern studies, and the University of Metaphysics, where he received his PhD in metaphysical philosophy. Okay. The reason for the book, his motive was to give the true history of the so-called African Americans, which have been excluded from some textbooks. So Dr. Windsor is of a strong advocate of the economic, cultural, and moral developments of the so-called Black community. In serving the community, he has been a member of the president of several organizations. Okay, so since 1968, and he goes on to explain about the Ethiopian Jews. You can read more about his book. He has another book also called The Valley of the Dry Bones, which I have. It's a good book also, for those who are familiar with this book. There are a few images and pictures. I'll just, for those, when you first open the book, he has some pictures here. Also some illustrations here. If you get the book, you can read those. Obviously, you can see a lot of the melanated Israelite people here. And just to get to the point, it goes into Europe. On the very first page, it talks about the first chapter talks about ancient Black civilization. I have a few parts underlined there. It also talks about the Euphrates River. I'm gonna just read an excerpt from this book. For those that have the book, in chapter, let me see here. Chapter, what is this? Chapter 2.
Page.
Chapter 2, page 18. It clearly says the origin of the white race. Okay? So y'all won't think that I'm making this up. And I'm not sure if there's a PDF for this. I have certain parts highlighted from my studies. I'll just read it. It says, Flavius Josephus said that the Greeks called these people Scythians. The Scythians included all the wandering tribes who dwelt mostly near the north of the Black and Caspian seas. They were regarded by the ancients as tremendously lacking the intelligence and civilization. So I'm just reading the highlighted parts. It says, from Javan, the fourth son of Japheth, came the Ionians and all the Greeks. Okay. Next highlighted part I have here is Japheth's grandson, Ashkenaz, formed the Germanic race. In the Hebrew language, the word means German. Okay. By 378 AD, the Germanic tribes were on the move. They were known under these names as Lombards, Burgundians, Franks, Saxons, Angles, Jutes, Ostrogoths, Visigoths, Silves, and Vandals. These 10 Germanic barbarian tribes settled all over Western Europe and intermingled with modern nations of Western Europe as we know them today. All these tribes were the descendants of Japheth. Okay. The next page over on page 22, I highlighted another part. It says, we have more than adequate proof that the white races began near the Caucasus Mountains, and from there they spread north. I'm sorry if I'm shaking a little bit, trying to hold this. They spread north, northwest, and northeast into Europe, Asiatic Russia. Now we know that the Japhites, Europeans, are YT today. Okay. So I'll give you the opportunity to, if you want to look into this more, you can check out this book from Babylon, the Timbuktu.
So, lucky brother.
Yes, sir.
I think Sister Jazz was saying there is a PDF online of it online. So that was she was saying. She's saying there's a PDF online of that Babylon to Timbuktu.
Praises. All right. Is this good for y'all? Y'all want some more information on this? Esau. If this is making sense, I appreciate people liking the live. Just type 1. Show you some more information. Alrighty then. Now, many people will say that Esau is the Romans and the Greeks. All right, just by poll, if you believe that Esau is the Romans and the Greeks, type 1. If you believe that he's not the Romans and the Greeks, type 2. If you believe that Esau Edom are the Romans and the Greeks, type 1. If you do not believe that Esau is the Romans and the Greeks, type 2. All right, I see the twos. All right. Okie doke. Let's look at something else here. Let me do this. Let me type in all right, ancient Arabs. Okay. Can everybody see these images? I'm just proving a point. Ancient Arabs. Let's look at this. Can y'all see that? Let me show y'all my whole office space. Can y'all see that?
That's good for him.
I'm gonna click on a few more. This is in so-called Middle East, right? Okay. Ancient Arabs. This is just for educational purposes. All right. Type something else in. Just for illustration purposes. Let's see. Let me get some good pictures here. Can't show that. Ancient Greece. I'm just showing you images, okay? Can everybody see that? I'm just showing images for a purpose. Ancient Greece. Right? Right. Jap. Ancient Greece, right? Well, I can't even show half these pictures up here because I don't want TikTok to all right. Ancient Greece. Okay. Let me show you something else. Ancient Romans. I'm just showing images, fam. Romans. Right? Now, how many of you all have this book here? It's called the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Type 1 for yes, 2 for no. Okay. All right. If you have this book, I want you to turn to page, let me see here. I want you to turn to page 135. We're going to read this together. Okay. Okay, that's fine. The word I want you to look up is dress. Okay. I'm going to read it because it's too small and you can follow along. It says all these coupled with the traditions and usages extant among the present Bedouin Arab tribes led to the conclusion that at a very early period of man's existence, he learned the art of spinning and weaving cloth of hair, wool, cotton, flax, and eventually silk. Okay. It goes on to list several verses. Genesis, well, the verses are here. I don't know if y'all can see it. They're right here. Genesis 14:2, 31:18 and 19, Genesis 37:3, 38:28, Job 7:6, Ezekiel 16:10 and 13. The next verse says, and from these established certain simple styles which were continued from generation to generation, then carried by Esau and Ishmael and their descendants into Arabia, where the Arab continued them through the centuries, always with a feeling that it was deceitfully wrong to change. Question. I showed you images of the Greeks and the Romans, in which none of them dressed like Esau, Edom, or the Arabs. Totally different attire. Totally different attire. Because it was culturally different. You can pull up images of the Romans. People are saying that these Greeks and Romans are Esau, Edom, right? Some people may not subscribe to the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. But the way you dress identifies your culture. Type 1 if you agree with that. The children of Israel, they dressed a certain way. Right? Let me see if I can pull that up. Let me see. shoot. Dress a certain way, right? Head covered. Sorry. They got their headpiece covered, you know. I know this is not, you know, these images are just for, it's just for example purposes to show you the attire. I'm doing the best I can on this, but the point is that this is crazy. They need to stop. Attire. Okay. We can clearly see that we dressed a certain way. You can clearly see that Esau, Ishmael, the Arabians, they all dress the same. They all have similar customs, traditions. The women are covered. They don't eat pork. They have certain dietary laws and things of that nature. Japheth don't have those same customs. The Greeks are half dressed, half clothed. Okay? This is not a tradition of Shem. The attire of the Romans and the Greeks are not the same attire of the people of Shem or Esau or Israel or Ishmael. That's not how we dressed. Does that make sense? Shalom. We didn't dress that way. Huh? Hold on, let me look up. We didn't dress that way. I'm doing the best I can, fam. You know, I can't control these images. They let me zoom in a little bit, but they tweaking on the images. Just showing the attire. Okay. Then when we go to the Arabs, that's somewhat similar. I mean, the dress. I'm just trying to show you the dressing and the attire, meaning the customs and this is similar to the children of Israel. When you look at the attire, the dressing, women, heads covered. Oh my goodness, I did not mean to click on that. But you can see here how the women are covered. This isn't Japheth. Japheth doesn't dress like this. These are Romans and Greeks don't dress like this. Huh? Got that sword. Modest apparel, covered. Modest apparel. Oh, it keeps going back. Sorry about that. But can you all see? I'm just trying to show. Can you all see the similarities between Ishmael, the Arabs, Esau, and the Israelites and their dress attire? Can y'all? That's the point that I'm trying to make. Right. So when you go to these people, Greek and their attire, totally different culture. Oh wow, hold up. I gotta make sure these aren't some kind of crazy images coming up here. Bear with me, fam. Okay. Look at this mess, man. Look at this. Okay, hold on. This is Greek. Look at this, man. Now they body parts on like shoulders. That's what I meant. But I just bring this out to show you that this attire is not in consistent with Shem and the cultural areas that they lived in. If people lived in colder climates or other areas, they're going to dress according to their culture, their upbringing, where they're from, etc. Yeah, I couldn't take a chance on some of those images coming up, so it was just for educational purposes. I hope people understood the point that I was trying to make, if that makes sense. Okay, so when we're dealing with people that say that the Romans and the Greeks are Esau Edom, that's not true. They got to prove that. Okay. Is that making sense, family? What else do they be saying? If anybody wants to come up, if you disagree or you want to give your take, the live is open. You know, all praises. Got to write this information down. You know, you may engage with some people, because the main argument is that Esau went around conquering people, taking over lands. Correct? That's what I was told at one point. Anybody else hear that? Esau is the so-called YT man. Right? Is there anybody that would like to come up that may disagree? So to give people a chance to hear your side. Anybody? Japheth is not mentioned much. One thing that we got to remember is when we go to Genesis chapter 9 and verse 27. This is another one. I bought this out on the Ox page the other day.